Hi, this is Michael Merschel with the Dallas Morning News and dallasnews.com. I'm sitting here talking with classical music critic Scott Cantrell about the final days of the tenure of Dallas Symphony Orchestra music director Jaap van Zweden. Scott, what did Jaap accomplish with the symphony, and how did he do it?
Well, from the very first concert, he revolutionized the sound of the orchestra. I think we were all struck in that first concert 10 years ago at this massive sound from the strings. It was something I had never heard from the orchestra before. My eyebrows must have gone way up at that point. I learned subsequently that he created this massive sound, particularly from the violins, by cultivating the sound not from the front of the section, from the leaders of the section, but from the back. He really built the sound from the back and had got the players at the back of the section really energized and contributing. It's easy when you're at the back of a string section to coast and let the people at the front carry the weight, but he really wanted this sound really to come from the back, and even to the extent of telling the section leaders, hey, back off a little bit so this sound can come from the back and you get this massive sound. But beyond that, I think certainly there's a trademark intensity to his performances, unlike anyone, maybe since George Solti. He's been compared to Solti in having that sort of intensity of the performances. And there's just this new discipline about the orchestra that no little detail could be left unattended to. So there was all this new finesse to the playing, all this care with inner lines. You would hear a little inner bassoon line that would just be very carefully shaped. And some people have complained that there was too much micromanaging, but I was so glad to have a conductor who actually had ideas about music, about every bar of the piece. So he really revolutionized the orchestra in those things, and also bringing in a third of the players that we now see on stage. His obsession with detail and perfection sometimes came at the price of raising backs of orchestra members, and there was a controversy about that. He's not an easy taskmaster, and I think that goes with this obsession with getting things just right. And sometimes he can rub people wrong, and sometimes he can be tactless, and some would even say rude, but it was not because he was inherently a nasty person. It's just because he had this obsessive vision of what he wanted the orchestra to sound like and what he wanted every measure of the piece to sound like. And sometimes that comes at the price of slightly rough treatment, as it may come from my editors here.
All right, thank you very much. That was Scott Cantrell, classical music critic. You can read him online at dallasnews.com.